François Amigues is a French man who's now also Canadian, and he's a member of the Board of Prenatal Alliance, yes, and the president of the Canadian Association for Prenatal Education. He's also the director of I.D.E.A.L, which is an association in Canada, in British Columbia. He's a family member. I.D.E.A.L family, yes. He's member of O.M.A.E.P, and he's student of prenatal education since 1986. He's an osteopath. He's orientated towards couples and pregnant women and newborns for the last 25 years. That's his practice. So he's been lecturing and teaching prenatal education as well as pediatric and obstetric osteopathy throughout Canada, the US, Brazil, France, and Russia. Today, he's going to tell us about love and pregnancy. François, welcome. Where are you, dear François?
Thank you very much to welcome me. So I'm in the beautiful Rocky Mountains, and so it's an honor to be part of this Congress. I wish first to thank the Board of Prenatal Alliance, which is amazing. I had the chance to work with these amazing peoples all over the world. It's so exciting, so uplifting, and special thanks to Susanna, who has been like a mother for all of us. And with this inspiration to lead this recognition of this World Day of Pregnant Women. I tried 6 times to start the World Day of Pregnant Women in Montreal, but I didn't got this team. I didn't got Susanna, and I'm sure that Impulse will make a big chance. And yes, the team is unbelievable. And to have the connection with all these the most important association of the world acting in prenatal is very touching. And thanks to all of you, because it's time we gather all together to make a change. Even we are a very, very small family and we disturb the establishment, but it's about time it's happened. So today I wish to talk about love and pregnancy, and perhaps a certain way to do it. First, I will, oh, sorry. I'm going to speak in French because I don't trust enough my English, but I will answer the question in English when needed, and Laura is going to translate me. And if you're bored by my French, I will try in English. Thank you. Donc, pour commencer, je voudrais vous parler de l'importance de faire un bilan sur son propre épanouissement, afin de mesurer nos habilités à aimer et à fonder une famille.
So first we have to think, I'm inviting you to think about our abilities, to think about funding a family. Your sentence have to be a little shorter, François. Relax, so that I can translate.
Donc, s'évaluer avec justesse pour se préparer à l'odyssée de l'amour et à la venue d'un enfant.
To know who we are, exactly. To be prepared for the odyssey of love, to the arrival of a child.
C'est d'abord poser un regard sur la...
And it's to, the sound was lacking the last to look at.
C'est d'abord poser un regard sur la vie qui palpite en soi.
First, it's about looking at life that palpitates in us.
Combien cette vie, elle est épanouie ou pas en nous?
Is that life blossoming or not in ourselves?
Qu'est-ce qui la retient? Qu'est-ce qui l'empêche?
What is helping it and what is against it?
Qu'est-ce qui la dilate? Qu'est-ce qui la contracte?
What dilates it? What contracts it?
Et pour se découvrir, il est toujours temps de porter un regard profond sur sa genèse.
And it's also, in order to discover oneself, it's good to look into where we come from, our genealogy.
Alors, pour se préparer à une vie de couple amoureuse et une belle grossesse,
in order to prepare oneself for a good couple life and a good pregnancy,
je vous invite d'abord à faire une enquête auprès de vos parents, de vos oncles, de vos...
First thing, I invite you to check around your parents or grandparents or family members.
Comment avons-nous été espérés, accueillis?
How we were expected, how were we welcomed,
Comment on a été considérés et estimés?
how we were considered, how we were liked.
Et cela en essayant de savoir depuis le désir de nos parents d'avoir un enfant jusqu'à notre conception.
Trying to see where the wish for a child happened in our parents' minds until they finally conceived us.
Parce qu'on a vu précédemment l'importance de la première cellule.
We just saw recently the importance of the very first cell.
Marcy nous a donné un exemple éclatant de cette mémoire.
Marcy gave us such an example of that memory.
Et puis de savoir qu'est-ce qui s'est passé pendant la grossesse, pendant notre grossesse, et, enfin la grossesse de notre mère et tout au long de notre petite enfance.
And then to be aware of what happened during the whole pregnancy, the time we were in the womb, and our early childhood.
Pour comprendre comment l'amour de nos parents s'est inscrit en nous.
So that we can understand how our parents' love got imprinted in us.
Pour quels motifs nous ont-ils désirés?
Why were we wished for?
Un accident, une réconciliation, un défoulement?
Was it an accident? Was it a reconciliation? Was it just to deal with the amount of surplus of energy?
Voulait-il un enfant pour avoir de l'aide, par devoir?
Did they want a child in order to have help? Was that a duty for them?
Ou est-ce que c'était un grand rêve ou encore pour célébrer leur amour?
Or was it a great dream where they celebrating their love?
Étaient-ils libres, détendus?
They were free, they were relaxed.
Est-ce qu'ils étaient disposés à nous accueillir?
Were they ready to welcome us?
Est-ce qu'ils étaient disponibles à combler l'immense besoin d'attention d'un enfant?
Were they ready to nurture this huge need for attention that a child has?
Ce besoin qu'un petit être qui est inapte à rien a tant besoin de recevoir.
This tiny little being can't do anything and needs to receive so much.
Ce besoin d'estime, de considération, d'appréciation.
This need for be liked, considerate, respected.
Et ça pendant la grossesse et durant la petite enfance.
During the whole pregnancy and early childhood.
Les recherches récentes ont montré combien l'estime de soi est le fruit de ce regard, de cette valorisation.
There's new research, scientific research, saying how much this self-esteem depends so much on this, what we just said.
Et est-ce que cette valorisation, elle nous est donnée, offerte pour notre seule présence?
Were we valued just for our presence?
Et c'est un processus sur lequel nous n'avons aucune prise.
It's a process. We don't have any power over this, right?
Il nous est offert plus ou moins ou pas du tout.
We receive that or not at all.
Et pourtant, il va enraciner comment nous nous sentons en tant qu'être et non
But
en tant
these are the roots of how we feel as a human being,
et non en tant qu'acteur ou faiseur.
but not as somebody with agency, like actors of our own life.
Chaque bébé ne veut être qu'aimé et chéri.
Every baby only wants to be loved, cherished,
Pour se sentir bien, pour se sentir aimable.
in order to feel well, to feel lovable.
Toute sa santé psychique et physique en dépend.
All the physical and psychological health of this child depends on that.
Un enfant aimé est un enfant immunisé contre la peur.
A loved child is immunized against fear.
Donc il est moins contrôlable, impressionnable et manipulable.
But then it's less possible to control the child, to manipulate the child.
Et il est pétri par l'amour.
This child is just made out of love.
Donc une fois ce premier regard sur la petite enfance posé,
Once we are able to look at this early childhood, infanthood even, of ours,
il est bon de jeter un regard sur comment notre vie a pris confiance en elle durant notre enfance.
it's good to look into how did our life started in our childhood. How did we start being, how did we trust ourselves?
Après l'arrivée des dents définitives, commence la période de l'enfance proprement dit.
After the second teeth come, then childhood really starts.
Notre cerveau n'est plus orienté à lire et il n'est plus dépendant de celui de la mère et du père.
Our brain doesn't depend so much on our mother's and father's brain.
Il est orienté à faire face aux défis, aux apprentissages, aux épreuves.
Our brain is now ready for apprenticeship, for challenges, yeah,
Et
and
donc,
learning.
est-ce que cet apprentissage était mesuré ou démesuré?
Was it a correct way, I mean, a correct amount of things to learn? Was it like overboard? Was it too much?
Est-ce qu'il était adapté ou non au développement de nos capacités?
Was it adapted to the development of our own capacities?
Est-ce que notre droit à se tromper était respecté?
Were we respected in our right to be wrong sometimes?
Est-ce que nous avons été encouragés à apprendre de nos tentatives?
Were we encouraged to learn with every
Est-ce,
trials we had, every time we were trying something new?
est-ce que nos parents et nos professeurs avaient la patience et la persévérance
Our parents, our teachers, were they perseverant
pour nous offrir de répéter encore,
in offering us opportunities to repeat and repeat again and again
jusqu'à ce qu'on maîtrise nos gestes,
until we were able to master our gestures,
mais beaucoup plus difficile jusqu'à ce qu'on maîtrise nos états émotionnels.
but much more difficult until we master our emotional states,
Notre tempérament et nos pensées.
our temperament, our thoughts.
Et est-ce que cet accompagnement était graduel?
Was that accompaniment gradative?
Tout ce, tout ce questionnement sur notre genèse va déterminer nos aptitudes à être responsables.
All these questions will lead us into finding out how we are able to be responsible or not.
À mesurer notre volonté.
This will enable us to measure our will.
Est-ce qu'elle a été cassée ou est-ce qu'elle était encouragée?
Was our will broken or encouraged?
Est-ce qu'elle a été renforcée?
Was it reinforced?
Et ça va déterminer notre capacité à compter sur nos efforts pour réussir.
This will determine our capacity to count on our own efforts in order to succeed.
Et finalement, avoir confiance en soi.
And, which means to be self-trusting.
Et
Our confidence is there.
et cette période va nous immuniser contre la culpabilité et la honte.
And that time will immunize us against shame, la honte est là,
La culpabilité.
and shame and guilt.
Et ça va aussi nous permettre de diminuer la tendance à accuser les autres.
And it will help diminish this tendency to always find the guilt in someone else.
L'accusation typiquement cache nos interdits, nos propres interdits à l'erreur.
When we accuse, we're hiding from ourselves the times we were forbidden to fail.
Elle cache nos lacunes, nos blocages à apprendre.
All our wants, our incapacities for learning.
C'est le complexe des enfants qui doivent être parfaits.
It's the complex of so many children who need to be perfect.
Ils sont forcés brutalement.
They are forced. It's brutal.
It's the horse breaking instead of the horse whispering.
That's very well said.
Un enfant qui n'a pas confiance en lui condamne les autres.
A child who's doesn't have self-confidence will always accuse others.
Ma femme me dit souvent que son master en psychologie
My wife tells me often that her master's in psychology,
lui a confirmé ce que tous les enfants savent,
confirmed to her what every single child knows.
ce dont on accuse les autres ne parle que de ce que l'on se reproche.
When we accuse somebody, we're just talking about what we are reproaching ourselves.
Enfin, il est bon de poser un regard sur cette troisième période de la vie qu'est l'adolescence.
Then it's also good to have a look on this third period of life, which is adolescence.
C'est cette période où on développe sa confiance en l'autre.
When we start developing our trust in the other person,
Avons-nous été accompagnés, guidés, coachés
were we accompanied, were we coached
pour apprendre à questionner l'autre sur ses états intérieurs,
to ask questions to the other about inner states that can be going on through him or through her,
sur ses intentions, ses rêves, ses objectifs,
the intentions of others, objectives of,
mais aussi sur son identité, son unicité.
also questions about his or her unicity, his or her identity,
Et ainsi apprendre combien nous pouvons échanger sur une réalité qui est vérifiée.
and also learn how we can exchange upon a reality that we can verify,
Et non sur nos attentes et la projection de nos désirs sur l'autre.
and not just on what we wait from the other, what we are projecting over the others.
Cet art d'interroger l'état d'épanouissement de l'autre,
It's an art to ask questions about how is the other blossoming,
que ce soit un inconnu, que ce soit ses amis, sa propre famille,
somebody we don't know, or a friend, or somebody in the family,
et de percevoir à force d'échange la réalité de l'autre sans mensonge.
and then see as we keep on having exchanges to get to the reality of the other without any kind of lies.
Cela permet de présenter simplement son identité, sa vérité,
It allows for us to introduce our real personality, our real truth,
tout en interrogeant celle de l'autre.
and also asking questions about the other person's reality, identity.
Cela permet d'apprendre à rencontrer le réel tel qu'il est et vivre avec.
We then meet reality the way it is and we live with it.
Ça permet de ne pas s'emmurer dans l'illusion et dans ses attentes personnelles.
And we don't go into deep illusions and self-expectations.
Cet art de questionner, re-questionner la vie avec bienveillance jusqu'à ce qu'elle se révèle,
This art of interrogating life, asking questions about life,
jusqu'à ce que la vie se révèle,
until life reveals itself to you.
c'est la fameuse maïeutique des Grecs.
It's the famous Greek philosophical attitude, maiotic.
Questionner la question jusqu'à l'émergence d'une clarté.
Ask a question about the question about the question until reality emerges.
Et seule la clarté nous permet d'établir un niveau de confiance adéquat à chaque rencontre.
This clarity is what allows us for establishing a real level of communication.
Ça va nous permettre de tisser les meilleurs liens.
It helps us to weave good links, good links.
Et de choisir sainement avec qui et à quel niveau s'engager.
And choose in a healthy way with whom to get engaged, with whom to do things.
L'harmonie et la fluidité.
Harmony and fluidity.
Enfin, la dernière partie à évaluer de notre vie, c'est
The last part we have to evaluate of our life is
l'entrée dans notre vie d'adulte.
When we come into our life as an adult.
Celle-là, elle est plus facile, elle est plus récente.
It's an easier one, it's more recent.
Et c'est se poser la question, combien nous sommes rayonnants ou éteints?
And the question is, how radiating am I? How non-radiating? How, yes, do I have light coming out of me or not?
Combien nous sommes magnétiques, généreux ou narcissiques?
how magnetic and generous we are, or narcissistic?
Combien nous sommes vivifiants, enthousiastes,
Are we enthusiastic,
ou
life givers,
combien nous sommes démoralisants et négatifs?
or are we always negative and demoralizing everything?
Combien est-il naturel ou non naturel pour nous
How natural or non-natural is it for us
de servir avec bienveillance et intuition
to serve with benevolence and intuition,
à la fois la nature,
nature,
nos parents,
our parents,
nos amis, notre famille,
our friends, our family,
notre communauté et le monde,
our community, and the world,
pour tisser des myriades d'enchantements
so we can weave galaxies of enchantment
à chaque rencontre, à chaque échange.
every time we meet somebody, every time we have exchanges with someone.
Alors ce bilan est impressionnant,
It's tough to do all these calculations, right? It's impressive,
mais il est essentiel pour devenir apte à prendre soin d'une autre vie.
but it's very essential if we are called to take care of another life.
Celle de son amour, de son couple,
Also about our love and the couple, who we are as a couple.
d'où sera appelé, chéri, cet enfant à naître.
Huh. Who is calling darling this child who's going to be born? Who in us is calling this child, will call this child darling?
Faire face à l'état de notre développement
We need to know what kind of development we have achieved,
permet d'envisager courageusement de finaliser la maturité de notre état de santé,
which then leads us with courage um, to perfect our state of health,
de notre santé physique et d'estime de soi,
our physical health, and also our self-esteem,
de notre santé émotionnelle et avec la confiance en soi et en l'autre,
our emotional health with our self-trust and trust in the others,
et de notre santé mentale
and our mental health,
nous permet de faire face au réel,
which allows us to face reality,
et enfin de notre santé spirituelle
and also finally our spiritual health
avec sa capacité à servir pour se rendre utile et bienfaisant.
with our capacity of serving and becoming useful and bringing good things.
Mais la bonne nouvelle, c'est que notre être est plastique et résilient.
But I have good news. Our being is very flexible, resilient.
Même si des mémoires traumatiques sont présentes jusqu'à 60 et quelques années,
Even if we have traumatic memories in us, very old, like 60 years old.
de nombreux éducateurs ont prouvé
Many educators have proven
que sur des êtres qui ont été privés, brisés et maltraités,
that people who were totally broken from the start, mistreated,
chacun de nous peut muter
each one of us can transmute
et mûrir chaque aspect qui a été abîmé.
and mature every single aspect that was broken or wounded. We're reaching our time here, François. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Cela avec méthode et assiduité.
And we need to do that methodically, with a method.
Alors, je vais sauter à la suite.
So let me finish now.
Ce travail, parfois d'Hercule,
This is a Herculean job
à restaurer un état de conscience mature, aimant et serviable,
to restore a state of consciousness, mature, loving, and of service to the others.
va nous permettre pourtant la bonne rencontre et le bon choix de son partenaire.
But this allows us to meet and choose the right person, the right partner for us.
Et puis, va permettre la richesse et la profondeur de la relation de couple.
And will allow for a deep couple relationship.
Et surtout, il va permettre la grandeur de l'estime que l'on pourra offrir à notre enfant.
and will allow the magnitude of the esteem we have to offer our child.
Et ainsi, on pourra accompagner les principales étapes de la grossesse.
This is how we can go through the different stages of pregnancy.
Nous allons pouvoir être le témoin positif des forces épigénétiques qui agissent sur l'enfant.
And we can witness the epigenetic forces that are going to be acting upon the child in the
Dès la,
womb,
dès la conception et tout au long de la grossesse.
from conception throughout pregnancy.
Et elles vont influencer bien sûr sa santé primale.
Of course, these forces will influence this primal health of the baby.
La nature des 2 premiers mois de grossesse, c'est que rien n'est visible.
The first 2 months of pregnancy, nothing is visible.
Tout est à l'état d'idées, d'espoir et de rêves les plus fous.
Everything is there in a state of ideas, dreams, the amaziest, the craziest ones.
Ici, nous sommes appelés à nous incliner devant le miracle de la vie.
And here's when we have to bow to the mysteries of life.
De l'arrivée d'une âme qui vient d'un lointain infini,
A soul is arriving from a very distant place, infinite,
qui vient vers notre réalité concrète et finie.
arriving towards our concrete reality, finite.
C'est dans ce silence mystérieux que se déroule la construction la plus physique de notre corps.
In this mysterious silence is when the most mysterious construction happens in our body
Durant le développement embryonnaire.
during the development of the embryo.
Durant le 2e trimestre,
But during the second trimester,
c'est l'émotion de sentir son bébé qui va
it's
être
the
prêt.
emotion to feel the baby.
Et l'enfant va, avec cette émotion de la maman, va développer toute sa sensibilité,
And thanks to this emotion, the child will develop all his or her sensitivity,
ses capacités à lire et à réagir à la maman et au couple.
capacities to read and react to everything they're deciphering in the couple, in the mother, the father.
Notre attention qui peut se raffiner à baigner notre enfant dans des belles émotions.
Non, c'est trop long là, François, on va trop vite.
Ok.
On
Notre
est
attention à générer des belles ambiances.
we can generate great atmospheres, ambiance around us.
Elles peuvent former un berceau sensoriel de qualité
And it becomes a cradle of sensoriality, of high quality.
qui permettra à l'enfant de percevoir le mieux les sensations d'amour.
It will allow for the child to perceive better and better the sensations of love.
Ça va orienter plus tard sa vie affective vers l'amour.
And it will orientate later on his or her affective life towards love.
Alors qu'au 3e trimestre, la taille du bébé invite la maman à moins bouger.
But at the third trimester, the size of the baby invites the mother to move less.
Elle a envie de rester davantage à la maison, de méditer, de lire.
She wants to stay home, meditate, read.
Et que la nature est bien faite, c'est le moment où son cerveau double de taille.
And her brain, nature does things very well, her brain will double its size,
C'est le
the brain of the baby.
c'est le grand moment pour embellir son propre psychisme en tant que maman,
It's a great time to embellish, for the mother, to embellish her psyche,
pour enchanter le psychisme de son enfant,
to enchant the psyche of her baby,
de baigner dans des histoires, des rêves, des imaginations les plus belles,
to bring him the best, the most beautiful imaginations and dreams,
et lui souhaiter ce qu'on peut souhaiter de mieux à un être humain.
to wish what we can wish would be the best for a human being.
Alors ce long marathon fondateur de la santé
This is a long marathon that will be the fundamental part of our health,
sera bien sûr le miroir de la santé du couple,
will be a mirror of the couple's health,
et particulièrement de la maman entourée du papa,
the mother and surrounded by the father, of course,
entourée de la famille,
and the family around them,
comme comme des poupées russes où chacun s'épanouit grâce à l'épanouissement
like little Russian dolls where everyone will blossom according to how the other ones are blossoming also.
Donc, je conclurai en cette journée mondiale de la femme enceinte.
So on this World Day of Pregnancy, my conclusion is,
Devenons tous les acteurs d'envelopper et d'englober
let's all be the actors and englobe and envelop
de notre mieux
the best we can,
les couples, les mamans enceintes,
the couples, the pregnant mothers,
les enfants à naître,
the children to be born,
afin de leur offrir les meilleures empreintes de joie,
so we can offer them the best joy imprints
de santé et d'amour,
of health, of love imprints,
pour préparer un monde de paix,
so that we prepare a world of peace,
d'harmonie,
of harmony,
et de créativité d'une vie illimitée.
and the creativity of a limitless life.
Merci.
Merci. Merci, François.
Il nous reste quand même quelques minutes pour une ou quelques questions.
Perhaps one or two questions. Merci, François. Thank you for the flight.
Thank you, Laura.
Oh, yes. I don't see, I see here comments, such a gorgeous poetic interlude on PPN, François. Merci. Pre and perinatal education. So, Mateus Almeida, the ultimate healing process is taking care of the upcoming life. As long as it will be guided by broken adults, sharing love and building consciousness is an act of abnegation on behalf of the new generation. But that the cycle can be changed and a new era might come. What a profound and beautiful talk, François. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Mateus. I deeply appreciate. Well,
Prenatal Alliance says thank you for such great message. And there was one question at the very beginning. François, how to deal with unwanted children?
That typically we could say that we have to see in us. I like to do a flashback on our genesis to understand what we have to learn from that, because everything is a learning according to me. And when we can see that it's happening, we have an unwanted children. These children, of course, will going to come with certain challenges. If we are pregnant at this moment, it's so important to express to the baby our state and to reassure the baby that we are not in danger, because baby first react to mommy is in danger, I have to help her. Most of the wound come from that. So if we can reassure to say, I have the right to be pissed off, to be sad, because it's not what I wish, it was not my dream, but I'm going to welcome you the more that I can, but I'm not in danger and don't help me. This is mommy stuff. Just that, remove the fact that the baby is under constant cortisol and have to be stressed by the state of the mother. The dialogue in the womb is first to avoid to harm our baby with all the stresses we can have. So that will be my main advice, is to explain freely, telling our truth to our baby, but just reassuring my situation of stress is not dangerous for you, for me. So be happy, and I will try my best to transmute that during the months that coming. Already you involve the baby in the process and you reassure the baby. When the stress is not addressed, the baby address it for you, exactly like our organs does for us.
Wow. Thank you. We have here a last question. We don't have much time right now, but this is an important question, François. It comes from Claudine. I guess it would be great also to look after how the baby feels with so much hormones with the fertility clinics and the sadness on and on of the mother. Not to mention the frustration of high level of emotions.
And I believe that when this baby are alone, they are far from their mother, they are in incubators, or all this process. We need to have all the practitioners around, aware of the warmth they need. When the mother is not able to reassure the children, everybody around can talk to the baby. We know that now life is ruled by information, essentially. We know that through the water, we are 97% of water. Everything is about information. So all good information to reassure, to tranquilize, to give hope, to give love, will have a tremendous impact on these children to calm them down and help them to reconnect with health forces.
Thank you. Thank you very much, François.